If you're looking at the Ravens' biggest areas of need going into this year's draft, inside linebacker probably isn't one of the first spots that most people mention. The Ravens already have one of the game's best linebackers in Roquan Smith. They also have former third-round pick Trenton Simpson, who they think is poised to make a big jump going into this year. But still, could they use an early pick on that position in this year's draft? That's been a topic of discussion among Ravens fans this week after NFL Network's Ian Rappaport reported that the Ravens brought in UCLA linebacker Carson Schwesinger for a visit this week. Rappaport also suggested in his tweet that the Ravens could end up taking him at number 27. Now, he's largely been mentioned as a day 2 pick in most drafts, but part of what made the report so interesting from Rappaport is that, again, he mentioned him as a possible first-round pick. Now, look, Schwesinger is a really good player. He went from walk-on to All-American. He's coming off a year where he had more solo tackles than anyone else in college football. He also had 4 sacks, 2 interceptions, and a forced fumble. Having him in the middle of this Ravens defense next to Roquan Smith, that would be an exciting thought for the Ravens. But the flip side here is that inside linebacker is not valued as highly as other positions like cornerback or pass rusher, offensive line, maybe even safety. So would the Ravens use a first rounder at that position? Another potential option at linebacker is Jihaad Campbell from Alabama. Now, he's in a bit of a different situation because a lot of mocks have him predicted as a top 15 pick. So it would be surprising to see him make it all the way down to the Ravens at number 27. But if he does, he just may be too good of a player to leave on the board, even if that's not a huge position of need. It's all an interesting discussion for the Ravens, but something that I think that is worth pointing out is that Eric DeCosta has shown as the GM, he's not going to be tied to positional value exclusively. Well, he took a center in the first round in Tyler Linderbaum, took a safety in the first round in Kyle Hamilton. He traded a second-round pick for Roquan Smith. All those moves worked out great, even though they weren't the biggest positions from a value standpoint. Those guys are now cornerstone pieces of this team. So if the Ravens feel like the player is worth it, they will not hesitate to make that move. Now, we're going to be diving into all this draft talk over the next couple of weeks. It's a fun time of the year, so make sure that you're constantly checking back into BaltimoreRavens.com for the latest news, info, mock drafts, and all the analysis. That's it for me on Final Drive. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow.